would take for me to get some of the things that I want, and being hungry for those things.
So our state is the most important thing that influences our capability, our results in life. Lots of people have capability, but activating it comes from energy. When you are energy rich, you have a different life. The higher the energy, the more things can get done.
Spend more time on yourself than what you've been spending. Many of us never realize our greatness because we become sidetracked by secondary activity.
Courage, someone who has the courage no matter what to believe in something wholeheartedly and follow that with faith and courage to just go. And I think for me, leading is picking up the people around me and putting them before myself, caring about everybody around me and putting them in a position to thrive, to succeed before myself, and basically leading by example of how you live your life. Leadership to me is character, you know, who you are.
And the whole purpose is sitting down and asking the questions. What if I get asked a question that I don't have the answer to? One of the scariest things about life is a question. The scary question can shake a soul up because no one's asked that question for you. So for me, the transition for somebody to want to change it and get clarity is actually asking questions. If you don't ask the questions of what you want to do next, the world is going to put you in the box of what you have to do next, because they're determining who you need to be. And you are rising up to their expectations because you're not asking the question.
You are the star of your show. You are the director. You're writing the script. And you will determine whether your life is a smash office hit or flop.
People say, how often do you gotta look at your goals? Every day, because the world's gonna gobble you up if you don't. I look at it like a beacon of light that we all need to go towards every single day. Like, I need something that gets me out of bed to look at it and go, oh, that's why I'm getting up, that's why I'm working hard. But what happens is, so many of us have already surpassed the goals we had when we were 19. Like most everybody listening right now, if you went back to your 19-year-old self or 17-year-old self and said, you're gonna do this and do this, but we don't keep taking that lighthouse, that beacon of light, and moving it further out. I think, I like simple visuals, is what is it if it was the best year of your life? I tell everybody, just start dreaming. Best year of my life looks like this, looks like that. You write all those down, and then you stick them on this beacon of light and push it a little bit further away from you that you can't reach it. And it's gotta be a little bigger than you think, so it challenges you.
One belief can change your life. Today you can make one decision, the next little time we're together, and literally change your life without hyperbole, without BS, without exaggeration, not positive thinking, because our beliefs create and our beliefs destroy our lives.
As we go through life, we crave attention, praise, we crave recognition from other people because we on our own do not feel complete. But that's what this desire for approval, for validation makes you do. It makes you do things that often don't make sense because you need to feel whole to prove something to someone else. And this is why unquitable is such an important idea. So unquitability is basically this. Extraordinary minds do not need to seek validation from outside opinions or through the attainment of goals.
Suffering is pain, and the suffering is anxiety and uncertainty, and the suffering is hopelessness. But the consequence of all that is that you get bitter. And when you get bitter, you get mean, and you get cruel, and you start to hurt yourself and other people. So it's not only that if you don't have a goal, you suffer. It's that if you don't have a goal, you suffer, and then you get cruel and bitter and resentful, and then you start to actively try to make the world a worse place.
Clarity to me is stemmed from you being able to sit down and ask those tough questions that piss you off, that irritate you, that make you emotional, that you cry over, that you reflect, that makes you want to do research, that makes you follow up, that makes you sit down and say, I don't really know. I've never thought about this before. And that goes deeper and deeper and deeper.
We care what other people think of us, good or bad. We limit our abilities. The problem with this type of attitude is that the fear limits us. It limits us from really doing epic things, because to do something big, you got to be prepared for rejection. You got to be prepared for failure. And the bravest people in the world are able to do the incredible things they do because these things do not represent them. The attainment of the goal, the accomplishment, the object, the man or the woman are just nice to haves, but they say nothing about who you are.
I've just taken that in life in general. It's like, I'm not going to accept that it can't be done unless somebody proves it's a zero probability. And often the case, you can't prove it's zero. There's always some non-zero probability, and it's typically the stuff that's really close to non-zero, nobody else is touching. That's where the big opportunities are.
When you're working on something you want to achieve, you have got to stand up to that voice. You've got to sell yourself every day on your abilities, on what you're doing, on the goal that you want to reach. You've got to sell yourself every day, every day, every day. According to your level of belief, it will manifest itself in what you're doing.
You're always going to have two voices that live inside of you. You're going to have one to say, that's risky, probably won't work, you're not smart enough, you're not big enough, you're not, you don't live in the right area. You're going to have that voice that always lives inside of us, that voice of self-doubt. And you're also going to have this voice that says, we got this, we can do it, we'll gain the capabilities, I don't care what anybody else says, I'm going to make it work, I'll fight through it. And I'll just say it's okay to have those two voices. Just this one's got to win by a little bit, not a lot. The score could be 21-23, but this voice has got to win. So I'd say fuel the voice of, that empowers you.
So identity is you asking the questions until eventually you get to a point that you get to the deeper part of who do you want to be, what life do you want to live, and why do you want to live this life? Why is it important to you? Why is it what you're putting through all these hours? Why would you want to do that? That's transition when you go through it. And then the pressure part, when you said, here's who I'm going to be, where you declare your intentions to the world. This is what I'm going to be doing. A lot of times we keep things a secret. To me, I think declaring the intention serves a purpose. I think when you go out there and you say, this is what I'm going to be doing, this is where I'm going to be at, you officially have the world holding you accountable. That pressure could be good pressure to put into your life. We hear the phrase peer pressure, and we always get the negative connotation with peer pressure. It all depends who the peer is that's giving you pressure, because if you got the right peer giving you the right kind of pressure, you can do some big things in your life.
Now, the first tool on forgiveness is about facing your past. It's about looking at the shit that happened to you in the past and being able to heal that so that you can move on. Now you're unattached to your past. A lot of it is about the future. It's about writing a new future for yourself where you are enough so you can go out there and not give a damn about criticism or judgment or how people think about you. Now, this means that you can do what needs to be done to fulfill your mission in life.
But we all overestimate what we can do in a year and underestimate what we can do in 5 or 10. And the next 5 years is going to go by like that, no matter what, right? My last 5 years like that. But it all has to start at one moment. Just know that we have to start someplace. And if you're in a rough spot, just decide to start today. Just like, there's always a line in the sand where you could say, enough is enough. Like, say yes to something you've been wanting to say yes to for a long time. Say no to something you've been dragging your feet on, because I know with me, my life was stuck for 7 years. Stuck. My income was stuck. Who I was as a parent, who I was as an example, who I was as a role model. And finally, when I just looked at it and said, no, there's no more excuses. I got to face this pain now. It was crippling until it just stopped. And then it was over.
Today is today. What's the biggest step you can take today toward your vision? Well, how can you make the most progress against the vision today?